Hey there everyone, it's Nina. Thanks for joining me today for a new video. Today is a very exciting day because Simon Says Stamp is unveiling its newest brand called Rainbow Splash. It's a brand exclusively available at Simon Says Stamp. So for those of you that love coordinating products and products that work really well together, you'll want to check this stuff out. All of the inks, all of the cardstocks, the gems that are part of this collection, you name it, everything coordinates perfectly together. So what I wanted to share with you today are 3 easy cards that you can make with products from this release. So I'm going to start first with this colorful striped background. I've picked out all the different colorful pieces of paper that are in this Rainbow Splash cardstock collection. I've cut them down to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch sheets, and then I'm going to use my Tim Holtz trimmer to cut them further down into little strips. These are 1/4 inch strips of cardstock, and because this Tim Holtz media trimmer is so good for cutting through cardstocks of multiple sheets at a time, I was able to cut all of these really quickly. So now I have this really colorful assortment of cardstocks, 1 strip of every color that's in the Rainbow Splash collection. I'm going to arrange them onto a piece of cardstock in rainbow order. To do this, I'm going to put a little bit of glue stick down onto this white piece of paper, and then I'll start attaching each of the strips onto it. By using a liquid adhesive for this technique, it allows me to have a little bit of wiggle time when I place these strips down. That way, if I don't like the exact placement, I can easily shimmy it a little bit to get it into the right spot. So all of my strips got attached down onto this paper, and this is going to create a really colorful background. Now this paper that I'm putting them onto is a little bit larger than the actual size of the panel, because I will trim this down once I have all the pieces adhered. So here is the piece that I'm going to end up working with, and this is going to get adhered to the center of my card. So now that my background's ready to go, I'm going to pick out one of the new embossing folders that's part of the Rainbow Splash collection. These are not 3D embossing folders, these are standard depth embossing folders, but they give great impressions and you're going to get beautiful designs out of these. I'm using Tiny Florals. I actually designed this embossing folder for the Rainbow Splash release. I will run this through my die cut machine, and that's going to allow me to press that pretty floral pattern into the paper. And I love how this texture just looks so cool on this cardstock background. It's a great way to dress up your cardstock. So this is a sentiment set that I put together for the Rainbow Splash release, and I'm going to stamp out Happy Birthday onto some white cardstock. I'm using the Princess color of ink. Honestly, the Princess ink is my favorite out of all the colors in the Rainbow Splash release. I think this pink is just so cute. I am going to fussy cut my sentiment, but if you don't want to do that, you could totally cut this down into a simple little rectangle. And I glued both that colorful panel and my sentiment onto my card project using some foam tape. Now check out these gorgeous gems. These gems come in a pack of 232, and they already have adhesive on the back side of them, which is really great. And I'm going to use these little gem stickers to attach onto my card as a little rainbow trail going from the bottom all the way up to the top. And as I'm laying them down, I'm trying to keep the gem colors in the same areas as where the cardstock colors are as well, so that everything kind of coordinates nicely. And so there I have this fun little trail going up my card, which I think is super cute. And guess what? That's it. That card is complete, and we're ready to move on to card number 2. I was having fun with those embossing folders, so we're going to play with another one, and we're going to create a really cute background that will then die cut into a window. So this is some white cardstock from the Rainbow Splash release, and I'm going to start ink blending on top of it with Rainbow Splash ink colors. I'm starting first with Princess. Of course, like I said, it's my favorite, so I had to use it again. Now I'm going to work with Scarlet, and this is a really nice red, really pretty for Christmas and so many different things, but of course in a rainbow it looks gorgeous. Then Pumpkin is the next color I worked with to transition between the red, and then what we'll add next is yellow. There are actually 2 yellows in this Rainbow Splash collection, and I'm working with Canary here, but there's also Dandelion, which is another good color. Lime is the next one I'll work with, and I'll transition that from the yellow. And finally, we'll work with some blue at the bottom. The blue color that I'm using is C. There are 2 blues as well in this release. I wanted to have this nice bright blue at the bottom, but then I thought, oh wait, I want to add purple in here too. So what I did is I added a little bit of that heather purple up towards the top with Princess, and then I'll blend the two together with a little bit more of that pink just to get them to transition well. So now I'm going to bring in the Cascading Hearts embossing folder, and we're going to stick our paper inside of the folder and run it through our die cut machine. So that leaves us with this really fun pattern. And so then I decided I wanted to go ahead and die cut a window from this paper. So I ran that through my die cut machine so that I could get a nice window into my cardstock. Now, if you were making this card, you could have die cut before you emboss. It's totally up to you. I'm going to go ahead and attach my panel on top of my card base. And this is a really nice bright white card base. Looks great with these colors and offsets everything nicely. Here's another stamp set I illustrated for the Rainbow Splash collection. This is the Happy Blooms set. I'm using the Thinking of You greeting from this set, none of the images, but I will use the images in my next card, so stay tuned for that. I stamped that sentiment in black, and then with those gems, I added little embellishments in the corners of the card. I thought this would add a nice pop of sparkle and give some interest to the background without taking away from the beauty and simplicity of the project. So here we go. Card number 2 is done. These cards are simple. Anyone could make these. All right, like I said, I wanted to show you how to use that Happy Blooms stamp set and use the images this time. So I thought I'd go back to the basics of simple stamping to go ahead and make this cute little Thinking of You card. I have the white cardstock from Rainbow Splash here that I'm going to stick inside of my Misty tool. Now, this is right now a 4 1/4 by 5.5 inch piece of paper, and I actually will trim this down so it's a little bit smaller, but for now we're going to work it as is. I'm going to stamp first with lime. I really like lime too, it's another good color. I'm going to stamp that leaf with the lime ink. Then I decided I wanted to shade it a little bit. There's these really cool sponge applicators included in the Rainbow Splash collection, and I thought I would use one of these to shade my leaf a little bit. It's going to give it a little pop of extra color. So here I'm going to take grass. It's another good green. It's darker than lime, and I'm going to shade just part of that stamp with my sponge applicator. And then I'll go ahead and press that down, and you can see we get a really nice bit of shading here. And you can always go in and add a little more if you like, but that way it gives the leaf a little bit of interest. Now we're going to stamp the flower. So I'm going to pick out this large bloom image and I'm going to line it up right on top of the leaf. And then for that, I'm going to use that same canary ink to go ahead and stamp this down. I only used one shade of ink for the flower itself, and then I stamped the center of the flower with some of that same princess ink. I know I'm using that princess ink endlessly, but I'm telling you, it's a good color. I love it. So here we have it, our cute little flower. Just going to clean off our stamps and get ready to stamp the next part of the project, which is the butterflies. There are 2 butterflies in this, but I decided I wanted to have 3. So I'm going to stamp 2 of them first, picked out the areas where I wanted them to be, and then I took one of the butterflies and stamped it a 3rd time to give just a nice bit of arrangement here around the flower. It gives some movement to the card too. And the butterflies I did stamp with C ink. Now there is this other cute little stamp set with some adorable greetings in it. I'm going to use the Thinking of You sentiment to stamp below my flower. I stamped it with some black ink. There is a black ink for Rainbow Splash as well. There's a whole bunch of different colors, and I'm only using just a few of all the cool colors that are in this collection. Bringing back those gems again, I wanted to use those to create a trail for my butterflies. Now this is going to enhance that movement, so that way it really draws your eye up across this card. For the card base, I'm going to use the new gravel cardstock that's part of the Rainbow Splash collection. I cut this down to be 4 1/4 by 11, and then I scored it at 5 1/2, which makes an A2 size card. And then using some foam tape, I'll stick that on the back side of my paper and then use that to adhere my card panel to the card base. I really like how that gray cardstock really frames up the card. And now we have this adorable set of rainbow cards using the new Rainbow Splash brand, available only at simonssaystamp.com. So be sure to check it out. It's really great for creating bright and happy cards. The rainbow is already picked for you, so there's no deciding on what colors you want to choose. All of the guesswork has been done for you. So if you want the perfect rainbow, you're going to want to check out Rainbow Splash. I hope you enjoyed these projects using the Rainbow Splash collection. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments section below. And don't forget, you can find links to everything I'm mentioning today down below in the video description. So be sure to check it all out there. I thank you so much for watching this video. I can't wait to come back and share more with you all. But until I see you again, I hope you have a wonderful day, and thanks for watching.